seen them on. Like, it's just really peculiar. Like, you'd think they would kind of leave it to be possibly maybe train or whatever. Like, what was this remaps thing? It was train. My mind was to say nuke that was left there as well, and they let it go to cash, which is interesting.
Well, are we going to see? Are we going
to?
Yeah, I know that would have been nice if we handed that one over, but. Are we going to see KiNg's potentially upset Wind and Rain here? You've got to remember that KiNg's were 2-6 throughout regular season. Wind and Rain were 6-2. So it would be crazy if KiNg's are able to progress to finals, because that is the reward of winning this map. You move on with Fish 1-2-3 and with Vex, who are already there waiting in finals. And you get that chance to play out to beat the Premiership champions.
Don't forget the big part. Your prediction's still available.
Oh, it is! I forgot that.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. I can be, I can gloat if it happens. Smoke's coming through mid.
Possible.
And Wind and Rain are just going to burst out of middle here now. Shaney's going to have to fall back, but it looks like they're going to be moving to B. Trials does find 2, surprisingly, and Lumji is going to be so patient here, but he doesn't find the kill. But luckily, Shiki and Shaney, the 2 S's are there to back him up. Link's just going to dance around. Does find 1. If he can find the one that's weak, he might have a chance here, but he can't. KiNg's take the opening round. Shaney on 1 HP in a dream.
So I got a fun fact about where Lumji died right there.
Okay.
In the UK, we call that spot Lumji.
Yes, yes. I've even to be fair, when I play CS:GO, I call it Lumji because of that reason. Yeah. People are always like, "Why do you call it Lumji?" And I'm like, "Well,
Europeans call it Snacks, but we call it Lumji."
Yeah, I mean,
and he first round of the game on Cash, playing that. He's a force to be reckoned with on that B-bomb site in Cash.
He's a man to be scared of. Link's going to get boosted up. Oh, nice shot onto Shaney there.
They were planning to boost back up against him, but then they were just like, hang on.
Too late.
Hang on.
Fry's managed to pick one up as well. Decent work with these Deagles to actually take down 2 players, so it's 3 versus 3. Lumji this time is going to be in middle. Just taking an aggressive stance with his SMG.
Dante's just out.
Yeah, he don't care. He's just like, yeah, I'm on site, boys.
Yeah, they're playing retake and everything. It's just... I'm not sure if Whisk saw him get to site. I suppose he hasn't seen the bomb come, but with Dancy's knowing he's at truck, he just told his teammate, yeah, go through the door, he won't see you, he can get a plant.
Yeah, shuts the door for good manners as well.
3v3, they have a kit, 2 mollies on a smoke along with a flash.
And they have SMGs and a FAMAS.
Yeah.
That's the important factor.
They can clear out a lot of positions here, so number 1 spot you clear out would be quad with the molly. They smoke enough A main, molly quad. That should force him to at least face out, but the molly was terrible.
Oh, and he's not able to get the frag either as Astro manages to pop out and take him down. Dancy elsewhere was able to pick one up as well, and somehow Wind and Rain have responded with a round just on top of those Deagles.
You really shouldn't be missing the quad molly from highway. There is, like, even if you don't know the perfect lineup to land it in the middle, you can at least just throw it to the left of quad so it forces him a bit to the right, like just so it at least gets something. But instead they managed to lob it and it landed on the fence, and it didn't get anything.
It would have been a great chance as well, and a really nice way to start the series for KiNg's if start map. Sorry for KiNg's if they were able to go 2-0 up, but they just have to forget about that round now and hope that they can do something similar with their CZs.
Yeah, so Shaney's the only one playing mid right now with the Deagle, obviously, so that's a bonus. Everybody else come to the CZs. They have 3 smokes to work with. Shiki's ready to smoke A main. He's just crouched at the car and he's just thrown it then. But Shaney, is he going to give them mid control fully? Or is he just going to hold here to potentially get 1? I don't think he gets more than 1 if he holds it.
So difficult as well, taking on AKs there with a Deagle. You have to be very confident. Shiki falls.
Good trade.
Yeah, nice trade from Whisk.
Lumji gets 1 at B.
Oh, I was saying it was hard to get anything with a Deagle, but Shaney takes down Cray, and now there's just 2 players remaining from Wind and Rain, and these rounds are not going how they should.
No. It's just like 1 piece falls and the rest start falling down with it.
I think Lumji saw Fry there, so Lumji's probably going to back off.
They both saw each other.
Give the information across to your teammates, let them do the work, and you can just wait a little bit later.
That B push is quite strong here, though. They've got really far up, beyond Sunroom even. Shaney's still playing. He's heard that, though. That's sound key. He's ready for whoever comes close. They've got no flashes or anything.
Oh, decent work from Shaney.
He did get
have
the
the
tag
jump on him.
Yeah, he did get the tag on Fry as well.
And there we have it. KiNg's, they respond. An eco bash onto an eco bash. An anti-eco, sorry. That's worked out really nice.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot of the teams are just having issues where one person dies, then they try and react on that one play, and suddenly everything else crumbles around them.
2-1 advantage to Kings. And Wind and Rain are going to force up again with Deagles. We saw what they did last time with Deagles. Just the one kill though for Astro.
Had a really good map too, as well. I think he had 25 kills at the end.
Yeah, he was playing very confident, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was more than happy to push people, even when he had only 10 HP. But we need a big round from these Deagles again if Wind and Rain are going to pull this round together.
Yeah. The issue is they have basically one play, which is to go contact somewhere or walk around and, again, just go contact, because they have a smoke, 2 flashes.
Yeah, and in comparison, the amount of utility on King's side.
So right now, Lumgy at back checkers, you can't do anything to get him out of there without him knowing that you're there, because Trials will see the cross, or he'll hear you running at him. Yeah, Trials spotting it there, he'll see them cross into checkers, and then he'll probably flash checkers, and Lumgy will peek out, kill them. It's a really awkward situation to be in, especially with the flash coming in, but Lumgy's the big man to play here.
Finds the one nice and comfortably. He does get flashed out though. That's Shiki, I think, probably coming through, but at least Lumgy is still alive. Fry falls, and it's just the 2 remaining.
I guess. Well, he's going for it.
Goes for it instead, and now Kings are starting to put rounds together, and that'll be Wind and Rain, I imagine, now having to eco.
Yeah, Trials was far too focused on Lumgy's position rather than his own. He was kind of worried like they're going to check him back checkers. I need to help him, but he got overwhelmed in sight. Nonetheless, they win the round 3-1, and that should be the end of all the eco and being ecoed for now.
For now, yeah. Although it maybe sets precedent for the latter stages of this game. Both teams know that they can successfully anti-eco when they need to, so when the going gets tough, I'm sure they're going to try and go for those sexual plays once again.
Get A main info, but she's there's a whole clock
the wrong way. But look at this, Wind and Rain managed to burst on
as well.
Oh, decent work from Whisk.
He's the eco basher.
Yeah, you need that,
that should be a plant if he goes for it. Another situation where they could have possibly got a plant, but they opted to try and get a kill before it.
And I wonder whether that's overconfidence as well, thinking that they can actually just win a round or do some damage to the economy rather than focus on their own economy with a bomb plant. But AK's at the ready now.
And the AWP comes out.
And Wind and Rain now need to show us what they can do on T-side when they actually have money to work with.
Yeah, money's not too great though. No molly, they've only got the 1 molly and a single flash on every player. It's not too great. Like they can play their regular default to a certain extent. Like Prey's playing really deep here. He's got the smoke ready. Oh, he's one back. This is an interesting B push from them.
Fry just a little bit concerned that maybe someone was being boosted at the other side middle as well.
It's really weird. They go kind of like not even halfway up to Sunroom. They just go slightly forward and then decide to pull back.
Yeah, they just back off.
So Wind and Rain's default, like we saw this on Inferno T side, it was really slow, methodical, and they tried to play to a certain fixed way. And it looks like they're doing the same on Cash. Which it can work, but if the other team clocks exactly what you're doing, then it can go really horribly. They have left Shaney B alone with his AWP though. So that's a recurring trend. We saw that in Inferno as well.
Still holding this angle really aggressively in this round, playing out a little bit slower than the previous ones. A much more important round, as it were, for Wind and Rain, because they don't want to be ecoed again.
Can Astro see him? He's crouching.
Surely that...
He's going to check it. I assume down season door heard some sort of sound cue for it.
Yeah. Instantly checks it, and there's 2
they
to go down.
Quite a lot of noise when they're doing it. Yeah, very clean take from them.
Decent stuff from Astro. Lumgy falls.
Shaney needs to live.
That's not living.
Quite the opposite.
That is very much a grave. And now Trials should probably try and survive. I think he was considering if I could get the AWP.
Rid of this crappy gun. I really don't like the gun.
No, I'm not a fan.
No.
It's I like the FAMAS. I think that is a better option when you can't afford the M4. Afford the AK, sorry.
Oh god. The nade probably. No, it's pulling out. Well, he tried to find an upgrade, but could have potentially lost his life for it if Cray gets the timing on this. Nah.
The Empress, is that a new skin?
I'm not sure.
A skin's still being churned out.
Yeah, there was a clutch case, I think, introduced about a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 2 months ago. Definitely, it added some new gloves as well, like different style, like case hardened and stuff.
A glove's still like £200 or something stupid, or are there finally cheap ones?
I imagine there are cheaper ones now. I haven't looked at it quite a while, but they're cheap relative to like knives and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider, yeah, gloves are a bit of a weird niche. Like, you don't see many people with them still.
I mean, I know when they first came out, they were like 200 quid or something stupid.
Yeah.
And most of the pros and the big boys had them.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of
a bit
jazzy
weird.
coloured ones,
Yeah.
like green, which...
Is green jazzy coloured?
Oh, I'm a big fan of green.
Yeah.
Big fan of green.
Like anything that you're a fan of is immediately jazzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
La La Land especially. Very jazzy.
And very green. In the right places.
This setup of mid's really peculiar. So Shiki's right next to Shaney and Z. It looks like that guy in matchmaking who wants the AWP off you, and he's just sat there waiting for you to die. Look at him. He's just sat there waiting for him to die. And he's just like, oh, he's not going to die, is he? I better go try and win the round. But it looks like the same take as they did last round.
2 players have managed to get onto site, one of them being Link.
There'll be another flash in from Fry. Really good pop flash.
But they managed to survive, and Shiki just about gets his vision back, but does die to Dancy. Another bomb can go down, you'd think.
Yeah.
Nope, Crow can't really decide where.
And the save's already been called. Yeah. It's a very weird one, though, because I believe it was Shiki in sight for quite a while, and Whisk as well. And he managed to repel them quite a bit, and then he kind of overstayed a bit. Like, he wasn't playing in a situation where he could dodge a flash or anything. Like, he didn't try and get himself to quad or play anti-flash even. And gets nothing for it.
Win Rain seem to have found their way onto A side comfortably, and I wouldn't be surprised if they hit this constantly now. I know we joked in the previous game when we were saying about getting onto A side, but I think it's slightly different here on Cash. If you do find a way in, if you find a weakness in your opponents, you can. Yeah,
that A side is a lot. Like, it's a really awkward one because obviously when they've just been doing those takes, they mollied quad, mollied MBK, they'd smoked off the front of site, and then also smoked off highway. And it meant you can't play on the site because you'll just get pop flashed, as we saw just then from Whisk. And it's a really awkward situation because you either have to be in their faces trying to fight back, or you give it to them, which it's not ideal to do that when you don't have enough grenades. So these 2 M4s are really important now for Trials and Lumji, and I wonder if they're going to... Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to split up? No, or always hit them with this one. That's annoying. They were planning to boost Vent, I think, but that smoke's kind of slowed down the plan. You can still see him doing it on the left. Yeah, I like the... He's been there a few times so far. I do like the aggression, like with the M4s, try and do something, try and make them count. What was that molly? You tell me. I'm trying to wonder, like, was it a next level 200 IQ bounce or a miss? A little dance around the door. Dancy takes down Whisk, but that's one of the guns in action. Some trades, as it's just Trials now left with the M4. 4 versus 2. You'd imagine this should be very comfortable for Wind and Rain as Shane is sprayed down to just 6 HP. He'll push in as well now. And 90s will get another one. So Lumji's been in events, I think, 3 of the last 8 rounds. All on buy rounds as well. So he's kind of, I suppose they're recognising that's a common area for him to be. Because when he played properly, like played actively at least, it was a very common thing to actually just be playing. That would be your dedicated B rotation spot anyway, and people would always molly it out and then you'd reboost or they'd X out mid side. That's not really the meta right now. So he's gone back to it and it's kind of, he's getting a kill every time he does it. Wind and Rain are getting caught by the 1 kill, but he's not getting anything else. Like, it's no good for more than that. I mean, Lumji was originally put down as substitute for this team, I believe. Yeah, he was, yeah. So, I mean... Yeah, he's not... Yeah, I played against him recently. He only had about 20 hours past 2 weeks. He's not playing... Like, it's not... Obviously, this isn't a real team. It's like a mixture of players because, as you said, he was a sub. Yeah. He's just been asked, can you play these games? Sure, why not? But what a statement it would be if KiNgs were to qualify for finals in a spot for Lumji to say, well, you know, I helped get us there, so you should probably be taking me. I doubt they wouldn't either. He'd definitely been a key part of it. And from what I can remember as well, Lumji on LAN is always been a player to watch out for. Yeah.
And I think that's one of my biggest loves of any FPS game is you do have your players that do just turn up at LAN events because they deal with pressure better.
Really well.
It's almost like the adrenaline just gets to them. I've seen the worst online players turn into the best LAN players purely because of that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, connection isn't as much of an issue as it used to be back in the day. You used to get really bad players because their internet was horrendous.
So Lumgy's back in Rent again.
It's his home.
It's the new Lumgy.
We're officially renaming it now.
We'll have multiple call-outs.
Yeah, everywhere on Cash. We'll just change
Lumgy
Cash
1,
to
Lumgy
Lumgy. As Fry's the first to go down. Wind and Rain actually behind now on this round. First time in a few rounds, actually.
When they're coming around here, do they try and actively check it, or do they actually look into checkers?
They are looking up there, but Trials is able to get him because of it.
So because of that crossfire, though, you start to think, is he just facing that randomly, or is he actually... Oh, great. He gets Lumgy for 4.
Yeah, he's certainly caught wind of it.
Yeah, there you go. And then obviously that guy's stuck back checkers. But they have nothing to get him out. Other than just bullets fighting him, there's nothing.
He's rotating around.
There you go. So Trials is putting him really well there. Obviously, he gets the first kill. Lumgy dies, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they've done really well, 5-4. And the money's still good in Wind and Rain.
And I mean, again, we don't necessarily have to talk UK or professional here, but what should we be expecting T-side from Wind and Rain? What is a comfortable scoreline they'd be happy with?
Personally, I always aim for like the 6-7 round mark.
Okay.
I feel like that's enough to be in a situation where you don't worry too much if you lose the pistol.
Yeah.
I don't really recall winning many CT pistols on Cash. It just felt like the Glocks would always overwhelm you, whether it's a door burst, over boost, something like that. It always feels like they do overwhelm you, and then you fight back from that. So ideally, when we're looking, they're probably feeling like they need about 7, roughly. Kings will be wanting as much as they can, just because the T-side's been very scrappy, quite, on the fly.
And I've seen so many games fall apart on Cash as well, where you're on CT side, you get maybe 10, 11 rounds, you feel comfortable, and then your T side is absolutely horrendous, and you can't do anything.
So ideally here, Trials will end up facing it. Okay, they double-faced it.
And Lumgy...
They should have enough info that.
Forced out of his hibernation spot.
They should have well enough info. That kill adds to that. Whisk's alone here. But they've come out without any flashes.
Yeah, it's such a
without
strong spot to be in for Whisk if there's no flashes there, but Fry thankfully gets the trade. That could have been very damaging if he didn't get it. Cray spots Shiki unaware. Down to 3 versus 3. Bomb's going to go down. Shinny is going to try and retake with the AWP.
It's a really awkward situation to be in. You know there's a guy highway, but you have no smokes, so you only have flashes to possibly push him away. Lumgy's going to get him in the back there. Ooh, they needed that goal.
1 for 1 again. Health certainly not on Wind and Rain's side, but at least they've got the bomb down. They've got the post-plant positions. They're not the best post-plant positions, but as good as they could work with. There's a decent spray down from Dancy's, takes Trials down. And there we have it. That's going to be diffused, and King's going to take this 6-4.
Shane's AWP comes through again.
Yeah,
3 kills.
I'm going to say again, I've been really impressed by Shaney and his AWP.
Yeah, he's getting some important kills, like impact frags.
And it's his bravery, I guess.
Yeah, he's willing to take the fight. He feels confident in his own skill. So, it's...
Maybe it's because he's got the powers of the Black Panther.
Maybe.
Maybe someone needs to get him that drink that releases it. Take it off him.
Yeah, there's a really famous quote from Luke Critical Green, former CS player in the UK. Counter-Strike is confidence.
Yeah.
Right? Which, if you've played matchmaking against some people who are just running around like they're God's gift, and they're just instantly headshotting you, you're just like, why is he doing that? That's stupid. But it's confidence. He knows he'll kill you.
Slow push towards B now for Wind and Rain. That's the conga line.
They're definitely ready for the B burst with 3 players on site. It's kind of crazy to have 3 players on site.
It's a really good read if they've got it. Astro isn't able to get on site because he's just flashed, but Lumgy's now going to do some damage, but he only gets the 1, but thankfully Shaney was there to back him up, but the trades have come out, and it's 3 versus 2 advantage. Shiki takes down the bomb, though. That's important. 2 versus 2. Shiki needs support ASAP, and finally Whisk turns up. Molly to work with. Lots of grenades as Dances goes down.
Heck of a shot.
Fry has the bomb down. He's got the advantage that they don't know where he is, but they should check, but they both just drop. I mean...
They expect him to be sides though. They didn't quite anticipate that he'd bravely walk across.
I feel like it's a lack of communication though. Like, surely if one's just going to drop that aggressively... I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about that? I felt like it was too aggressive a play for both of them to drop at the same time. But I guess if he was on site, then it was the right decision.
Yeah, it's just one of those where they haven't really taken into consideration he could have walked across. It was just one of those, he was sight, and then you're in the moment, you're not thinking possibly what else could he have done.
Ooh.
And I think Shaney just bought by mistake in that round.
Ooh.
He had an M4 and Kevlar, everybody else went to Eco. Maybe a bit of miscommunication?
That is a shame that he fell straight away as well. As Wind and Rain fully taking advantage of this now. Decent shots by Dances with his AWP to get the opening kills, and now we're just left to Whisk.
I've noticed in this game there's been quite a run of AWPers. So like we'd have a spree of about 10 minutes where Dances would do really well. And it'd be Shaney doing the same thing. They weren't both popping off at the same time.
Right from the get-go. I mean,
Inferno was... And then cut off to another one.
There was like 3 kills in Inferno for the first 3 rounds for Shaney, I think, and then Dances got 3 afterwards.
Yeah, it was always like one of them would be doing really well. Or like both of them wouldn't have AWPs at the same time. We had that happen once in Inferno where I believe it was Shaney that killed.
There we go. Back again. It's Shaney's turn now to take advantage. And I think that is... We can commend them both for that, because sometimes when you go down to... You get out-AWPed by a person, you can just then change your mind completely. You stop challenging, but they've both been brave, as Shaney is now going to be especially brave, getting boosted above this smoke.
Ideally, he ends up looking at the vent, but he won't be away. Giving it away. Need extra B player. So Lemgy's actually on A site now. Why is that? I wonder.
Maybe he's got bored of people throwing grenades in vents.
Possibly.
He said, they're probably just going to presume I'm in vents anyway, so I might as well go somewhere else.
Right. Shay needs another one. Trials needs to at least get one or live long enough, yeah.
Grenades coming in thick and fast onto this B site, but he's just going to burst through. He can't actually find it though, as Charles is struggling with his FAMAS to find anything, but he's just going to dance around in the smoke, try and bide some time.
Well, he's in pit with him.
Oh, tries does get one. He's managed to get out, but Link eventually gets him.
Whisk has Molly, they have a kit, they have one smoke. Did he see both of them on site is the question.
They'll certainly be well aware of not making the same mistake they did before. Link now just dancing in the fire.
If that Molly wasn't there, I feel like Link wins that round.
Yeah.
Cheeky had no idea. They definitely thought somebody else was Checker's side, or at least outside B main.
No kit, no problem.
Are they going to pick up Shaney's up? There we go. Okay, so again, 2 impact kills. First kills of the round for Shaney.
I was kind of hoping they weren't going to pick up, because I feel like your voice would have got even higher. Are they even going to pick up? Are they Shaney's up? Shaney's up? Shaney's up?
But again, he's really pushing in. Like, he's playing like it's Pug, honestly. The way he pushed through the smoke, he was like, if I don't get a 3rd kill here, we might lose. I'll do as much as I can in my power to win this round.
But now it's a little bit more back and forth.
Yeah, 7-6. A lot of nades going over boost have been a bit questionable from Fry so far. He's only the bouncing molly that was a bit weird. Or maybe he's just next level mind movement, I don't know.
Cheeky gets an open onto Link as well, just through the smoke there.
Surprised Fry isn't in for the trade. He heard Cheeky just running around.
Man, look how quickly Cheeky changed his position as well. He was out of there, 1 kill, and then saying, no, I'm out, I need help. Back me up, boys.
It's all that Fortnite. He's ready to get on the move.
He's trying to build mid-site. Imagine if you could build in CSGO, oh my god.
I remember seeing something like that. Somebody made,
yeah, someone made a video, didn't
on
they?
Inferno, where he just doesn't.
He builds a ramp and snipes someone.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We're going to become rich, let's make it. Let's make the crossover. Whisk pushes through the smoke and finds Fry as well, and takes down Astro. What a play from Whisk.
Dantes has been door so many rounds so far. Constantly in there. He's been doing well too. 2v3 though. Do they have any idea that Shaney's inside?
Just Cray left. It's 1 versus 2. versus 1 now. Cray's done really well to get back into this round. Only 20 seconds left, though, so he does need to make a move sooner rather than later. Bomb's going to go down.
Needs to. It depends. Where does he think Shiki's coming from?
I thought he made noise there, but it doesn't look like...
He did make noise, but I don't think he heard it.
Well, now he knows.
Ooh. His flash is a bit questionable.
Yeah, now he's run out of them, and Cray somehow turns around.
1v3.
A 1v3, a round that he really shouldn't have won.
Arguably, Shaney was being a bit overzealous with that peak just then. Like, he was quite wide off the quad boxes. And probably didn't need to do that. It's one of the situations where you feel like if you've won the round, you might as well try and get the kill for yourself.
I'm still surprised how close this is.
Yeah, it feels like most of the time mixed teams tend to do quite okay on CT side. Like, obviously, Cash is a bit easier, I feel, for the rotation-wise. It's pretty straightforward for the most part.
It was like the old nuke, right? If you start CT side, you can make a game look close.
Yeah.
Against, like, a bad team can make it look close against a good team.
Dancy's gets killed in door again. Ooh, is that a lineup for a main smoke? Nice. Cheeky.
Sometimes these players surprise you, don't they?
Yeah, there's some wacky lineups for some grenades. Like, obviously,
it's just whatever works for you.
Yeah,
really.
like you'll be taught, like, somebody will show you how to do it once, and then you'll see somebody else do it completely differently.
Yeah.
But it all lands the same.
Yep.
There's such a weird amount of map control right now. So the CC's completely taken the mid-main area. They've got Useless. They know Cray's outside B. And Whisk gets another one towards...
Ooh, okay.
Whisk.
By Link.
He's feeling it.
Yeah, he's still going to challenge. Probably should back off and just allow Shiki to come from behind here, but...
Yeah. Oh, Shiki's going door. He's heard him door. But it's 1v5. They must close in on him. Right?
Here comes the cavalry. They all peek at once. You can't even find frag. All 5 alive. 8-7 then.
So that's 7 rounds on the T side.
You said that they'd be relatively happy with 7 rounds, and I guess at least they can move into the second half with some confidence. But maybe still not the dominance that Win and Rain would be expecting themselves.
Yeah, it's not great, but at the same time, you gotta hope that the CT side they'll be a bit more drilled. They've got the chemistry, they've got that sort of thing. Clearly on the T side they did have some sort of default that they had gone over to an extent.
Yeah.
But after that they felt a bit lost. Like early on we saw those A takes and they were good, but then they were just, I don't know, questionable.
Yeah, and I thought that there were probably 2 rounds that Kings could have or should have won there as well. They could have had maybe a 10-5 scoreline if they'd... This is the thing, some of the plays, it wasn't like they were ridiculously stupid plays, they were just very aggressive plays that could have worked in a scenario, but unfortunately a player had been able to get out of their sightlines, for example. But I think ultimately they'll be happy that this game is still close and competitive. I mean, if you consider that Kings were previously Elevate, I believe, so they had a sponsor before, right?
Enclave.
Enclave, sorry, not Elevate. But the fact that a sponsor then is lost and then they're still progressing. I mean, maybe if they get to finals, another UK organisation could pick them up.
Well, you'd hope so.
You'd expect it to happen. I'm sure Eminem will turn up with someone. Usually happens at finals.
Usually it's the Fish 123 boys.
Usually, yeah. Fish 123 are there every season and then they turn into Eminem, but why can't they just be Eminem anyway?
Well, I mean, technically the Fish 123 lineup this season is basically Epsilon.
Yes.
So there's a chance it could become Epsilon, I suppose. But I don't know if they'd like to, be seen as that, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if they really want to be... Because they only recently they added a 3rd UK player, which is what they needed to play in this anyway.
Yes.
But they actually replaced Cosmine with Janka. Which means they technically could have played this as Epsilon fully. Yeah. So do they then... Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I guess that'll be a discussion to actually have with Epsilon, right?
Yeah.
And what Epsilon will allow, but here we go. We're going to kick off the second half then and get this one underway. Who is going to be progressing to the finals? Who's going to be joining that Fish 123? Who's going to be joining Vexed? Is it going to be the expected Wind and Rain, the Wind and Rain that went 6-2 in groups? Or is it going to be the underdogs, Kings, 2-6 in groups? This would be absolutely incredible if they were able to overturn this game. They want to start well, though, with a pistol in this second half.
Looks like they're just going to do some kind of B take. CT smoke, molly headshot.
You were saying how hard it is with the USPs against these Glocks, and the Glocks have started off strong as 2 go in like that.
You could see the clockwork in his head, just like, yeah I know exactly what I'm going to do, and shot on the side.
Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Bomb's going down, 3 versus 5.
The B bomb site's hell to go into.
It is absolutely horrendous because the angles that
Too many.
the people can hold is just, yeah, it's...
Especially Glocks, like, they're always just up in your face anyway.
And just a P250 as well, to boot.
As soon as Shaney shoots, everybody will come out. I say everybody, it was just Lungy.
Just Lungy, but Lungy's enough on B site. He is a one-man army.
Question is, why are we going to see somebody get ecoed again?
Yeah, I mean...
First half we saw it go back and forth, was it twice, 3 times?
Yeah, it was very a very weird start to the first half.
I feel like Wind and Rain will be wanting it to happen that way, otherwise they'll feel a bit pushed back. See, that's more like it. See, 4 SMGs and the naked on the T side. Look at all those grenades that they're able to use. There's a heck of a lot of confidence on KiNg's side to just run straight into Sunroom without any fear of anybody peeking them.
But I like it. I like the confidence. I mean, when you are the underdog, sometimes you just have to roll with whatever you've got at the time. And if just that little bit of aggression is what's helping you get through rounds, keep blooming doing it.
I feel like Shaney should have heard that vent boost just then. There was a big metal noise when he jumped up.
Sometimes teammates are speaking.
Wait, they've just done the full checkers mollies, except for the vent one.
Lungy and Shiki are able to do real damage. Shaney also chips in onto Astro, and it's just Link left. So no anti-eco. Well, there is an anti, like,
Yeah.
It's just not worked out for Wind and Rain there.
Yeah, really good use of the grenades. Or just go as 5, fully execute onto one place, make sure you flash it, and then everybody goes around the same time. There's too many people for them to shoot at. We'll probably see a similar thing again. They did upgrade one of the UMPs to an AK, so Shiki got rid of his. It looks like they're just going to do the same thing. Are they just going to run across straight away? Yep. Shiki's holding the cross.
I mean, you said before the series starts, Cash can just be that puggy game, right? You can just fall into bad habits, but sometimes bad habits can work out.
Yeah. Clearly there's some kind of feeling that they've had, just like, yeah, we can just run across here. Screw it. Do it.
Wind and Rain are definitely ready for this B push, though. All 5 members waiting. Astro gets a nice opener off the trials. But Whisk is going to answer back. Does have a molly to throw Heaven as well, but 2-4. Just Cray left. And this is going to be the round for Kings. 11-7. 4-round advantage after the pistol. Exactly what they needed.
11-7.
All right, this is where you set aside the big boys from the average team. How can Wind and Rain respond to this? Because even though it's only the pistols that have gone through, the pistol round and the following rounds, you are 4 rounds down and your back is against the wall. How do you respond to that?
It's not an ideal buy from them, either. Like, they've all got M4s, no FAMASs. Like, usually you'd see somebody at least go FAMAS just so they can have the extra like, molly or an extra flash, anything like that. But none of them have done it. They all feel like they need the M4, which, honestly, it's not that much better. It's at the end of the day, it's still 2-shot headshot. I'm kind of confused what KiNg's actually planning to do. Obviously, it was intended to be a B.
At least Whisk's managed to respond.
Away, though.
Yeah, I was thinking that was going to be it for the round, but with Whisk responding.
They haven't actually got in yet. They assume there's somebody on site still.
Yeah, that's why the nades are coming out onto the back of site, but no one is there. Instead, you've just got members spraying down from Wind and Rain. Bomb goes down.
There is a kit on Cray, so they have, they don't need to rush it as much as they would normally.
1 flash, 1 smoke.
I feel like Link is the man to watch when it comes to this, because he needs to come through the vent at the same time as these CTs push through main.
Whisk has got a good angle onto Dances. He does manage to take it as well, but Link's come from behind to find 1-2.
Last guy on site, Shiki.
1 versus 3, what can Shiki do? Could be game-winning if he was able to get it, but he can't. Nice that Wind and Rain pushed together, and they put one on the board. I said, how will they respond, and they responded well. Maybe slightly too aggressive from Kings, pushing into B-site so quickly. Yeah,
it was a bit of a one-man mission through that smoke to start with. If they'd just taken Checkers control, Whisk got that kill in Checkers, and then they were easily able to take the site. It was just a bit, I wouldn't say uncomposed, but it was a bit too fast.
Yeah.
Shaney's decided to go for the AWP quite quickly there as well. So I think on T side on Inferno, he picked it up maybe once, and then didn't have much success with it, so he just got rid of it straight away. So I imagine if this doesn't go well, he'll go back to rifling.
No luck with the AWP through the smoke, and Kings are going to try and hit B once again. Molly comes through the smoke, so Astro will have that info. Probably just communicate with his teammates. Try and fall back. Quick checks from Whisk. No one answers him in checkers.
Whisk's just storming in.
And grenades galore as everyone is blinded and flashed.
He'll die back there. Oh my god, he's lived.
But this has been a really good hold from both Astro and Fright. Shaney's managed to chip in, but 1 versus 2. Shaney has the AWP.
Bomb is in pit. Slightly too far.
He has a minute to work with.
Yeah, he's heard the reload queue in the back left. He doesn't know where the other player is, though. Is the issue. Okay, so he still knows that that goes back there. He picks up the AK.
Yeah, sensible decision there. I like that.
Normally, AWPers tend to stick with the AWP just because they feel like they're insane with it.
Yeah, I think the sign of a good AWPer is knowing when to give it up. Shaney clearly knows there's someone, or someone should be there. I don't know if he knows they are definitely there, but because he's got a little bit of time to work with, he's just going to hold ever so slightly to see if he can get that advantage, but he's going to have to move sooner
The awkward situation is they don't know if the bomb was still there, because it was in pit. It's a really awkward situation. Link can't see him because he's crouched, and he's not spotting the head. Oof. Oh no. Not much trigger discipline right there.
Ah. A nice try, but unfortunately just ran out of time, and timing went against him as well, with players just moving around the corner ever so slightly. So 11-9. Wind and Rain starting to bring this one back.
Yeah, they called this bluff quite well there.
Yeah.
Like, they stayed paired, which usually you'd have one guy be a bit hesitant to be like, I'm going to go check A, and then get a 1v1. But it comes out really well for them. First buy round is needed, and they picked up the AWP. Dancy's now has it.
Yeah, now it's Dancy's time to shine.
Yep.
Shaney did make something of that round with the AWP. Is it going to be the same back and forth we've seen for the rest of the series, where Dancy's now gets a couple of kills of his own? Just the CZs on the side of Kings. That's interesting.
That was incredible. He threw that from just behind forklift.
One for the ages.
Wow, never seen that before.
Flash comes in,
Main burst.
walks straight into Dancy's AWP, but it is just 1 for 1.
Lumji with 2 huge kills. They get a plant. 3v3, no armor though.
No, but Lumji's done
they've
serious
done the job
work
they needed.
there.
The plant was all they needed. And I think Shiki's taken enough time off Kray's movement there as well.
Yeah, the clock's ticking down, so Wind and Rainer might be slightly panicked about their push in here, but they do still have some time to work with.
The molly's not touching.
Oh, so close there. Shiki's left alive, but the defuse comes through. 11-10.
And they should get the AWP at truck. Yes.
But I mean, considering that was pretty much an eco, just the CZs.
Really well done for him to get the plant. It means that he has the option to pick up the AWP. Is Shaney going to go for it?
And they've been damaging Wind and Rain's economy as well by getting those kills. That's what's important.
He's rifling. Okay. So, similar to Inferno. Picks up the AWP, didn't really get much done with it. Back to the rifle. This looks like it's going to be something fast from Kings.
I'm not going to lie, SE, I wasn't expecting too much from this series.
No. I mean, the stat, like, literally looking at it on paper, like, considering both teams, you're just like, well, 2-6, 6-2. Beat them twice in regular season, stomping fashion. But you don't expect much.
Have turned up, and Shaney takes down Dances as well, and that constant battle with each other, but Cray responds.
They don't think Link's here.
Yeah, Link's in a really nice position. 1, 2, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Lumji responds though. 2 versus 3. Lumji needs to go huge here. Does get a nice flash, but unfortunately Cray was behind him. It's all on Shiki. Does he know someone's quad? Oh, he was able to take down Fry as well.
The mystery man appears twice at quad. And it's all tied.
Yeah, now this is the worry. We were saying Kings, they were 4 rounds ahead. They had that advantage. How do Wind and Rain respond? Well, they responded very successfully by putting round after round on the board. They were close rounds, don't get me wrong. Kings did really well with the rounds that they put forward, but it is the scoreline that matters. Doesn't matter how much you win a round by if you keep winning the rounds.
Even then, the CT economy is fragile. I think only one of them had over 3,000 just then. So even they lose one, it's completely reset City.
Yep.
It's a really awkward situation.
Which is the advantage of getting the kills from Kings, but they need to win an actual round to be able to
get that advantage.
Take it. Yeah. And we've seen crazy stuff already in this game with the Deagles and the Ecos.
Shaney as well.
Oh, Shaney! Once again.
You're for down. Oh.
And he keeps the barrage going. Cray falls. 4 versus 3. There's still a lot of work to do, though. But they should be able to find those guns. You'd like to think. It's not easy to get to them.
Yeah, they're trying to identify where the missing man is. So obviously they have to be spread quite thin here. The question is, does Shiki run up to check up for them? Because if he does, he might get shot from track.
Yeah, Shiki's done really well there.
Really good trade.
Astra and Dancy's remain.
He's ready to fight.
Look how much
He's made him miss the molly.
utilities left for Dancy.
Does Shiki hear Dancy? Did he hear him at all doing that? I suspect he didn't.
At least Shiki's managed to find a weapon.
Thing is, he might just get shot straight in the back of the head. Okay, they've got the info.
Nice work from Shiki, finds one, looks for the second, which he gets as well. What a round from Kings. It all started with Shaney, yeah. The iconic duo of Shiki and Shaney. I'm not sure they intended to be a duo, but we're going to certainly make them one.
Yeah, takes out the other AWPer. That time it was actually Fry AWPing.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, we've seen Dancy's on at this map, and look at that economy. I'm not sure if Kings expect them to be on an eco.
No. This might be a welcome surprise. Although sometimes when you don't expect eco, you can be a little bit surprised.
He'll have seen pistol.
Yeah, he should have done.
Oh god.
Well, now they definitely know that Dancy's takes down Trials.
The thing is, as soon as that gets done, you need to be speeding straight out.
Oh,
really poor flash.
The Deagle show is still on full display from both teams, but Lumji is responding. How much I would love to see a Lumji show at the Premiership Finals.
I wonder how many rounds Lumji's had multiple kills. I feel like when he gets kills, he gets it 2+.
Yeah.
It's never just one on its own. It always feels like it's multiple.
Well, I remember, I mean, as this round plays out, which it probably should, I remember it wasn't last season, I think it was the season before, I was putting the highlights packages together from each group stage game, and it was just the Lumji reel. I think you were in there a few times as well with some pistol aces that you got. I think it was on Cash as well, a nice pistol ace I remember from you.
I remember my thing on Cash was killing 4 people with an M4 and then throwing my M4 as a fake flash and having the pistol out.
Filthy.
It got questioned a few times.
Look at the economy again for Wind and Rain.
They want a really big buy on the 14-11. They had about 2k last round. And they should be on about 4.5 now, if not spend it down a bit.
What a chance this is for Kings now. They're gonna go at 14-11 inevitably here unless we see something exceptional from Wind and Rain. And they put themselves 2 rounds away from finals.
They've gone for the big play, economically, like really big play.
And I mean, I'm speaking about what a moment it would be for Kings, but what a disappointment it would be for Wind and Rain if they were to fall. I mean, I know Wind and Rain are already in the Mountain Dew League.
But it's more reason for them to be winning.
Exactly, they should be winning these games.
Domestically, they should be doing well.
A reminder that the winner of the ESL Premiership does qualify for the Mountain Dew League, so the 4 teams at finals, that's what they're battling out for, as well as prize money, of course, and just pride. UK CSGO, there is a lot of pride in UK CSGO.
Potentially more than most domestic areas.
Well, it's because there's so much team changes, you have so many rivals.
Yeah, everybody's your former teammate.
Yeah.
Therefore,
you've probably been dropped by every other player on another team. Crunch time then for Wind and Rain. They've saved 2 rounds. They've got their big buy opportunity now. Look at all that money.
Look at the kill spread on the Kings side. 17, 19, 20, 20, 20.
All been stepping up when they need to.
All of them doing really well on this map.
And I mean, it says it's a technical pause, but I've got a feeling this is a bit of a tactical one.
It's a very big buy round.
It's a really very important round. Potentially
double orbs.
A tournament-ending round if they lose it.
Like, so I imagine they're all on about, what, $5,500 each at least.
Yep.
AWPers might be on more.
Yeah, I saw a couple of 6s.
Yeah. So, I mean, double AWP, I'm not sure how that would work in this situation. Like, they lost mid on that round, they got eco'd, which, I mean, Shaney's landed a heck of a one league, then he's got the second kill too. So 2 of them are already bought up. And then it's 5650. So 5650 is the exact amount you need to get a full buy other than helmet.
I think
get Kevlar.
Fry had probably bought something before the pause as well.
Kevlar.
Yeah.
I imagine that's a safe thing you can always buy.
It's the safe bet. But I mean, you were talking about the kill spread as well.
It's really thin compared to that side, isn't it? 23 and then next highest 16 going down to 10.
And no one really being cannon fodder, though. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Astro, I guess, 10 and 19. It's not ideal, but, I mean, he's still putting scores. He's still putting points on the board, right? So he's still doing important things for the team.
Yeah, it's the CT side, like, comparison you'd always make is, because obviously the score is currently, like, on the right-hand side, you can see it's reset because of the half. So Dancy's is on 16 kills, but he's only got 6 score for this half, which one of those is the eco kill. So he's only had 2 kills other than that one. So 3 kills in the half. Across 10 rounds is not great.
I've got to say, it wouldn't be a Prem finals without Nilzinho there as well, to be honest. I'm sure even if they lost, he'd somehow find his way to coach a team.
What I've seen, he really likes playing, like, coaching these guys because they seem like welcoming to anything he sort of suggests, which, I mean, they should be, really. He's experienced as anything.
Yeah, sometimes you need that. You do need teams to just be able to, not necessarily follow orders, but just appreciate someone else's sort of experience, rather than have that IGL that just argues everything. Because I know that is very apparent in the UK scene as well.
So Astro picks up the orb. So we've seen Fry with it, he got 1 digged, therefore he's off the orb. So Astro picks it up and goes B. So they've spread it just 1 orb to site, and then it's meant to be 3 rifles mid, but it's more 1 rifle spawning B and then the other 2 mid.
The adrenaline's certainly going to be pumping through probably all 10 players by this point. Kings, knowing they're so close, and Wind and Rain know that this round is pretty much do or die now.
It's a really awkward situation. Because as soon as the smoke comes in towards Z... Oh, they're just walking over.
Yeah, they both peeked, and Craig's got that information now. He'll be able to relay that over to Link.
Do they want to fight, is the question.
Oh, they're going to be nervous, that's for sure. And he turns maybe at the wrong time, but he still manages to find Trials. But meanwhile, Shenny takes down Dancy's. Lumji gets one as well. And this is the push for Kings. Just 3 players remaining on Wind and Rain. They need to step up. We need to see some sort of Craigasm or something if they're going to be able to win this round. Shiki goes down, but Whisk does respond as well. Astro's also fallen. This could potentially be the 15th round. And maybe the nail in the coffin for Wind and Rain. Fry falls, 15-11, 1 round. Kings, from getting to the finals, and for my prediction being correct, might I add.
Got out there. Yeah. We have a chance of seeing all 5 players on 20+ kills in regulation.
We have a chance of seeing a team that went 2 and 6 in group stages make finals. That is bizarre. I mean, across any game. I mean, I know it was best of ones.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a weird situation, really, isn't it? Because normally that would eliminate you, but with this format, it makes it so you have a chance.
Yep.
And, I mean, they've taken that chance.
I mean, we've seen it in other sports. I mean, like football, for example, we've seen the 6th place team be able to qualify for a Premiership kind of thing. I'm sorry, I won't talk T-sports too much. I know people aren't a fan of T-sports when we're in esports. But you know what? I'm a big fan. I like both.
Yeah, that was a really good orchestrated take right there by them on A. Like, it was fully 2 highway, 3 main, and Shaney got that opening kill on truck. It was crazy.
1 minute and 15 seconds. We were either that close to Kings qualifying, or maybe we're going to have an incredible eco, well, a force from Wind and Rain, because they are literally stuck between a rock and a hard place now, and they have to buy whatever they can.
I think the surprising bit is Kings have been playing quite slow on this T side, but whenever they've come towards like the last minute or so, they've got a clear thing in mind. Wind and Rain didn't feel like they had something in mind every time. They were kind of waiting for something to happen.
I wonder how much that is owed to Nilzinho as well as they push onto site. Shiki does take down Dancy's as he has taken down Trials. They keep moving. Molotovs has managed to force out players. Bombs should go down comfortably here because no one's here to contest it. A little bit of utility working. Lumji has 2. Shenny's from behind as well as Link goes down. Just 3 players remaining from Astro, Cray, Fry. Can they do anything to keep their Premiership hopes alive, or are they going to be sent home now?
That was so close. The big player is Cray, though. He's indoor with his kit. What can he do from here?
Shenny gets the shot onto Astro. Just the 2 players now that remain. It is going to be Cray that's got to do something soon. He does pop out. He gets 1, but he can't find the second, and it's Kings that are going to the final. What an incredible moment it is for them. Wind and Rain, the team that's already in the Mountain Dew League, the team that was 6 and 2 in group stages, fall to the heavy underdogs of Kings. What a playoff stage it's been for them. They beat Luminary 2-1, and now they have been victors here against Wind and Rain 2-1 as well.